Warning: Kingdom Death contains mature content, be it in its story themes and or its images. While while videos involving Kingdom Death Monster may not contain specifically mature content in them, the game does, and thus, if these videos generate interest for it, you've been warned that that is what it will lead to. If this does not bother you, please enjoy the video. Thank you.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this unboxing for... wait a moment. Kingdom Death Monster version 1.5. It's finally here. So, Kingdom Death Monster, for those that don't know, is described as a dark, or Kingdom Death, the setting, is described as a dark boutique setting where it's heavily stylized and very emphasized on insanity, death, and just all sorts of horrible things. And the game mechanics seem awesome. Kingdom Death Monster is the actual game. Anything that whenever I say Kingdom Death, usually I mean Monster, but sometimes I'm going to mean just stuff from the setting. Regardless, this is a heavy game. The shipping details were over 20 pounds. This is easily one of the biggest games I have ever seen that isn't some mockery of a game like Cones of Dunshire, or in its original size. Regardless, this probably has more content than that. So, let's get to this. It is a miniatures board game for those that are unfamiliar, and very heavy on the story. It is a campaign board game. And really, it's not, oh hey, here's a set story. This game is actually based a lot on random elements. Oh, and before I actually open it, because I'm not going to have another opportunity after this, first off, now the plastic isn't there, you can actually see the image on the front if I shine it correctly, and the image on the bottom. Oops, wrong end. Ah. So, whew. Heavy. Come on. Come on. Vacuums are annoying. Haha. Cool. So, first off, we're going to shift stuff around on my desk a lot. We've got this thing that's labeled on the top, Miniature Assembly. Just nice thin box, especially compared to the normal box. If I'm correct, this is all the miniatures. All of them for the base game. This. That's just kind of... oh, it's tight. Header? A lot as it just so much lovely plastic crap. All in one big night. Nope, or not. Oh, I hope I didn't break anything already. Okay, regardless, I was planning to take all that out. So, it is just sprue after sprue after sprue. The game has primarily really about 12 to 15 models, but then it's got a bunch of alternate sculpts for the survivors, which are the characters you play, and you can customize them, or for those of whom that are, really ambitious, magnetize them and allow you to customize them as you, over and over again. It's all hard plastic. I'm not going to show off the survivor sprues one by one, but I am going to quickly, as I'm talking, search for the monsters. And hopefully the base survivors. Okay, cool. So, here's actually some of those now. We got, on this one, what's referred to as the Screaming Antelope. It's a, antelope that has, I think, no flesh, just muscle. and a mouth for a belly. One of the survivors are right here, or at least the majority of them. And then we move on to this one, where we've got the white lion, which is the main thing in the game, and then, or the original, like the first monster in the game, and then we've got the butcher, as well as what looks like the other 3 survivors. For the sake of spoilers, because some people really want to avoid spoilers on this, I'm not going to actually show off any other models because I will likely name them. But there is one really big one in here, and a lot of other, 4 times the size, 2 to 4 times the size of your playable characters. So, time to get this out of the way. No. Well, I got that balanced on something, so hopefully. Oh boy. Alright, so next up we got the Hunt Tracker board and the Settlement Tracker board. So the Hunt Tracker board is really simple. You start at one end and you move down. There will be cards on each of these, and bad stuff happens if you get to the last one, which is labeled Starvation. This is when you're hunting quarry. The other side is your Settlement Tracker. Every time you go back to your settlement, which is in between each hunt, you do stuff all over again on here in order. Very nice, simple tracker board. I've also seen some really good custom-made wooden ones. Oh, still going. Okay, so now it looks like we're on to punch-outs. We've got a summary for the settlement phase by the looks of it. What are these? Reroll tokens and reminders. Then we've got the priority target token. Didn't think there was one of those in the last one. To my knowledge, this whole board is actually new, but I could be wrong. And then these asterisk tokens are endeavors. They're basically points you spend to do things in your settlement, and you can't hoard them either. You lose them all when you leave to go on a hunt. Possibly even before that. Then we've got more punch-outs. Starting with... Still trying to get this plastic off. Okay, cool. We've got a bunch of colored lantern tokens, which are all black on the back. A bunch of +1s and -1 tokens. They're all the same, like, they're -1 on this side, +1 on the other side. Is the art the same? Yes, the art is the same, just white instead of black. I wouldn't be surprised if these are something to do with insanity. And then these are blood tokens, which are basically a alternate health and extra health system. That, can kill you quicker. Or at least later game. Then we've got what looks like all the terrain tokens. This one fell out. Looks kind of like the Lonely Tree, which is one of the expansions. And the monster controller token. When it's the monster's turn, that goes around the board, and it creates an encouragement to attack your own character, because then you generate insanity, which is brain armor. Easiest way to explain it, brain armor. Okay, and then this should be the actual board. If I'm correct, it's a 2x3 footboard. There we go. These just need a small opening. And like everything in this setting, the ground is covered in nothing but stone faces. There's also some spots on the side for helping you organize. There we go. Organize stuff involving a monster, particularly its AI deck and a few other things. Oh, no, that's this. I don't know what those spots are for. This is, all, to my knowledge, also new. Either that or updated. Whew. Still going. We've got dice. It's a D10 system. You'll notice if you look carefully, there are some D6s or six-sided dice in here. If you've seen my last promo video, or promo unboxing video, where I unboxed a bunch of Gen Con stuff, you will kind of recognize these. They're a different color, but same thing. So D10s, and then the actual 10 is a lantern, and then hit location dice. When you get hit, most of the time it's going to be a random location. There's 5 locations that can be hit, while the brain is a 6th location. It can't be hit by normal things. And then body's on here twice. I think that's body. Because it's the larger area. There's also a white die, so that you have something to roll for the 10s, because the hunt table is done on a D100. And an orange die. Many people have been speculating what this is, but for those who know what they think it is, I'll leave it at that, and for those of you that don't have a clue, spoilers. I will be going over this entire game at some point, so don't worry. If you want to know what's what, just wait till later videos. But right now, we're just unboxing. Organizer cards, not going to bother opening that right now. Like divider organizers. Oh. Survivor sheets. Game has a lot of paperwork. It has, to follow that up, settlement sheets. These are used to track everything in the game. This is basically an individual character. This is the settlement itself. For this game, I recommend never getting attached to a character. Ever. The settlement is basically the character. The survivors are just its lives. We've got gear grid. 4 of them to be precise. It comes with a good summary of rules on it, last I remember. Yes, it does, including some iconography and what the basic survival actions are, which are basically things you can do to kind of game the system. Like one of them is, oh look, you've been hit, now spend to dodge, and you didn't get hit to begin with. And I believe you get to learn that after where the damage goes, but I'm not too sure. But there's 4 of these. It also has Fist and Tooth, which is a attack you can always use. It's Fist and Teeth. Gear dividers. So I just want to point out, card dividers, gear dividers, because the gear cards are square. Let's see here. I'll save that for last. Next up, we've got the settlement event cards. Making sure that's what it actually says on the back. Yes. So there are a bunch of these. I'll open these. I'll show these off later, but I'm not going to bother opening them right now. Basically, every time you come back to the settlement, or in the case of the first one, find the settlement, well, one of these gets drawn from the deck, or certain ones come up at certain times based on the timeline. But yeah, pretty much this one is set up the settlement, and then the rest are, horrible things generally happen. Again, not going to spoil anything. This one I am going to bother opening because the front one looks like they're in alphabetical order. Is not one of the starting ones. I want to specifically look for the starting one. But these are the settlement locations. So you get you unlock a bunch of these as you go, and you basically build an actual settlement. This on top of the innovations, which is basically your tech tree. And then this one is what you get from the first event that I showed off. And then the green things here are actions to unlock the following 3 basic locations. And then others unlock from certain things or other actions. Whew. Now we're getting to add more cards. I was about to say, no, we're getting to cards. I'm like, oh wait, those were cards. Boy, this one is packaged oddly, but come on. That. See, trying. There we go. As soon as I put it on camera. Okay, so gear. I just wanted to grab at least one of these to show off how these look. Armor, basic effects, name a bunch of command or keywords, but I wanted to show off the affinity, which is that blue thing on the bottom. Those can be of blue, green, or red, and they can be on any of the 4 sides, or in any mixture of them. They are basically how you connect your gear together and make complex sets, not counting the actual armor sets, which are just full armor sets, and generally do sync up quite well. And then, oh, and there's 2 more packs of those. Speaking of number of packs, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 normal size cards. Packs of cards. Now, I'm not going to bother opening any of these because this is pretty much the rest of the game. This is the hunt event, the special hunt events, the basic hunt events, which there aren't many, or the basic, non-basic hunt events, I should say. I'll get to that in a bit. The various derangements, fighting arts, innovations, the monsters, hit locations, and AI deck, and just all sorts of different kind of craziness that is the meat of this game. Except for the meteor part. The book. This is the instruction manual. The instruction manual is not some flimsy thing this time around. This was one of the major changes from the original to 1.5. And yes, there were actually things other than 1.5 between 1.0 and 1.5, but none of them were this big of a change to the game in general. Well, because this has like a whole another chapter to the game afterwards. But it's got the same icon on the front, again, just like with that orange die. For those of you that know what this is, you know what it is, and those of you that don't, I'm not telling you. Not in this video, at least. I'm trying to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, just show those first few monsters. But this book is high amounts of art, and it's just page after page after page. Like, here's that same image from the bottom of the book, because this is the starting story. Every single settlement starts the same. Every single game campaign starts the same way till you start getting into the alternate campaigns from the expansions. And it just goes on. Like, here is the first image of the white lion, and it just page after page. So there was something that I said I was going to get to later. Somewhere in this book is 100 different hunt events. So when you go on a hunt, you go through cards. There's the ones that are there because the monsters, and then there's the rest, which, unless you have expansions or promos, are generally just 1 through 100 from this book. And it is various things that can happen. Some of them are horrible, some of them are awesome, actually, and then some of them are just interesting. The horrible ones are generally only really bad if you put yourself in a situation, and but there are some of them you won't know that situation, so you'll get caught by it a few times. Same thing with the monsters. They all have some mechanic you probably won't be used to till you've probably had horrible things done to you by it. But that is actually everything in the box. Oh, and as much as I've got too much stuff to pick it up and show, the box does have a very nice plastic divider, which that was one of the things that was upgraded from 1.0 to 1.5, and is the only thing you don't get if you got the 1.5 upgrade pack to a classic version. Everything else you will get. So if you're somebody with a 1.5 wondering about it, I've double-checked with people. You do get everything except the plastic tray. I think. I'm not... Yes, they have said that. So, not my words, theirs. I'm not sure about the new, the new board stuff, but all the game mechanics, like the new cards, the updated cards, new punch-outs, things like that, definitely you do. And the new models, of course. But yeah. That's everything. Before I get to my outro, I wanted to tell people I will actually be doing, just as I did with Dark Souls, a full deconstruction of this game. In fact, I will probably be aiming to do that ASAP, but no promises on the pace. I will be continuing to work on models for this. This is primarily where a lot of my free time is going to be going. Free time. But that is really all. So if you want to see more of the game or want a detailed opinion, feel free to tune in. Regardless, that's all. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to press the like button. If you think somebody else will, feel free to share this video. If you didn't like it, go ahead and press the dislike button. But please try to leave a constructive comment as to tell me why. Also, feel free to comment in general. I do try to get back to all of those, even the negative ones. And if you want to see more like this, be it other unboxing videos, board game overview videos, or my painting videos, feel free to subscribe. Also, if I can manage it, I do have 2 new types of videos coming up because of this game alone. Those are a secret for now. Regardless, have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye!